I live in the Amazon jungle, and every single day people ask me questions that honestly just seem kind of ridiculous until you realize that they aren't. Today I'm answering the biggest questions that people have about living in the Amazon and just the mysteries surrounding the Amazon. Buckle your seats, we're about to be making a cake while telling you some of the most interesting stories we have. At 21 years old, I moved to the Amazon to live with a tribe. As you can see where I'm at right now, bam, I'm with a baddie tribal girl. So how do I have internet? You know what? You know how I have internet? Whenever the skies are clear, my Starlink satellite, boom, pings down, pings back up, and that's how I have internet. ¿Quién eres?
Tu esposa. Vengo de una nacionalidad shuar donde comemos mono, armadillo, guanta, guatusa, caracol, cumbía.
Y eres real y vives en la selva y todo eso.
Soy real, vivo en la selva, me pinto mis maquillajes shuar.
Speaking of shore girls, there's one coming right over there. ¿Y cómo te llamas?
Me llamo María.
And then here's another one that just popped out of nowhere. I don't know how that happened. But honestly, having internet is the most least interesting thing on this list. Whenever I tell people that I live in the Amazon, they're always like, dude, aren't the dangerous animals or the dangerous snakes gonna come and get you good or like come and hurt you? And honestly, you should worry about them. I just recently visited her grandma, and she was telling me a story where she just got bit by a snake and was in bed for 15 days, absolutely sick. And what they did is they threw a festival for her and painted her body black like a snake. Here, you cannot get bit by a snake, otherwise that just means you're done, dude. It's all over. Which everyone thinks Australia is the country that has like the most dangerous animals, but that's just not the truth. It's the Amazon jungle. From giant green anacondas to like shiny rainbow anacondas and even electric eels, it's like a walking landmine. Everywhere and anywhere you go, from jaguars to tigers or to like mountain lions. I've been stung by a few animals. I've been stung by the caterpillar here, the fire puss caterpillar, and as well as the bullet ant. And yeah, both of those I was in bed for about 2 or 3 days, just writhing in pain, to be honest. ¿Cuál es el animal más peligroso en la Amazonía?
El tigre.
¿El tigre?
Chucha, si te coge él, no te suelta.
¿Serio? ¿Lobo o tigre es más peligroso?
La serpiente.
The serpent.
Serpent. Eso te muerde y no te suelta. Te mueres. El titingui también, eso que es de colorcito rojo con blanco y negro, chucha, eso te mata, si te pica. No llegas ni al hospital.
Honestly, the craziest misconception that I get is that I'm also married to her sister, which I'm not. And for some people in the world, it's a pretty sensitive topic about having multiple wives and, you know, just in general. But let's have her explain a little bit about the shore culture. And you actually can have multiple wives, but for me, of course, I only have one wife. Just making that clear so I don't get up in the middle of the night.
Antes podían tener, el hombre shuar podía tener 2, 3 esposas y muchos hijos. Él tenía que ser bien fuerte, cazar monos, pescado, saber de todo. Tenía que ser bien trabajador para poder mantener a todas las mujeres y todos los hijos que ellos tenían. Pero hoy en día cambió bastante y ahora el shuar puede tener solo una mujer y muchos hijos.
It's because now in modern days they are Catholic because of all the missionaries coming down. So yeah, she's Catholic and I'm with something very, very close to that. I'm gonna put a clip over me speaking because for me, I still had to prove my worth to them. I had to go and cut a huge old achu tree right in front of her grandma. So in front of her grandma, I cut this entire thing down, and this is, I'm sure you're seeing it right now. Usually they get it down in like 30 minutes maximum. I got it down in maybe like an hour and a half. So I seemed pretty weak to them, but you know, I still take good care of her though. Another thing that literally blew my mind is that people here don't pay taxes, dude. Imagine you're at your job, you get your paycheck, all of it's going to tax, like 30% of it I think what it is. But imagine down here, anything you sell, it's finally and actually only yours. I'll show you an example right now. Welcome to the market of Sakua. So let me show you guys a few examples of how taxes may or may not work here. Just for legal purposes, I'm not a financial guy. I know nothing about taxes, and what's another disclaimer I can do? I'll just put a disclaimer right here on the page, but disclaimer, don't trust anything I say and take this just as my opinion and allegedly. So yeah. So the very first thing we're gonna buy is a coconut. So let's show you an example of how this might work. This coconut right here is $1.50, and the money that I'm actually allegedly going to be giving to her, allegedly, I'm gonna keep saying that, is not gonna be given away or portioned away at the end of the month. So let's go see. You know what? Let's just ask him. Cuando alguien compra algo así, ¿tú le das dinero al gobierno o solo das tipo impuesto al municipio?
Pago mensual
municipio.
Okay, pagas mensual al municipio. So at this stall right here, this is how it works. Besides the market fees and delicious coconuts, all you really have to do is pay maybe like $30 to $40 a month. But of course, if you're a proper business, you're gonna have to pay actual real taxes. Peer-to-peer transactions aren't actually what you think they are here. And because of course you can't pay with any credit cards around here, everything is basically solely cash-based. And when everything is solely cash-based, of course, the government allegedly, this is all allegedly, right? But theoretically, if there was credit cards here, everything would be tracked much, much more. That's why is trying to go to credit card only or digital payments only, because everything is taxed or taking a fee on, or processing fees, everything, all types of fees you can even imagine, right? But here, with cash-based societies, you can just buy the coconut and no one even knows. Let me know, guys, would you start a little stall here?
La Amazonía tiene bastantes secretos.
And as we're walking through the jungle with all these banana trees and basically everything, and oh my gosh, there's literally beautiful fruit on the ground, it makes you wonder, where did all those lost civilizations go? So let me show you a little bit about that. What if I told you that one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in history wasn't made in Egypt or Peru, but right here in Ecuador, only a few miles away from where I live? For centuries, people believed the Amazon was too wild and too unforgiving for anyone to build cities, but they were wrong. Hidden beneath this rainforest was an entire civilization that has been buried for over 2,000 years, and scientists only found it because they scanned through the jungle with LiDAR. Because when people think of ancient civilizations, they think of the Egyptians, or the Romans, or the Incas. Almost nobody thinks about the Amazon. For decades, archaeologists believe that people here only lived in small villages because the rainforest was thought to be impossible to farm on a large scale. For example, Percy Fawcett was a British explorer who became obsessed with finding a legendary lost city hidden deep in the Amazon, which he called City Z. In 1925, he disappeared while searching for it in Brazil, along with his son and his son's friend, and was never seen again. For decades, most people believe that his theory was just a myth, but recent archaeological discoveries in the Amazon suggest he may have been searching in the right place all along. In 2015, researchers flew aircraft equipped with LiDAR over Ecuador's Upano Valley in Morona, Santiago. This is where I live. LiDAR fires millions of laser pulses through the forest canopy, allowing scientists to see the ground beneath the trees. And what they discovered completely changed our understanding of the Amazon. Instead of scattered villages, they uncovered an enormous network of ancient settlements spread across more than 300 square kilometers. The people who built it are known as the Upano culture, and they began constructing these communities more than 2,500 years ago. Around these settlements, researchers found evidence of farming, including corn, beans, and sweet potatoes, which broke the idea of the scientists' minds that the Amazon couldn't support large populations. And no one knows exactly why these cities were eventually abandoned, but some researchers suggest that volcanic activity might have played a role. But the true answer remains one of the Amazon's biggest mysteries. And even what's more incredible is I actually live in this province. So every time I walk through these jungles, there's a chance that beneath the trees are ancient roads, homes, or entire communities that have remained hidden for nearly 2,000 years. The Amazon just doesn't have wildlife. It still may be hiding entire chapters of human history that we've only begun to uncover. Artifact hunting and lost treasure hunting has literally been one of my passions since I was like very young. Hopefully one day you guys will see a video named I Found the Lost City of Gold El Dorado. Let me know, guys. Do you think I'm gonna find it? And probably one of the biggest myths on the planet Earth is everyone thinks the Amazon is, by the way, look at those parrots in the background, I don't know if you can hear them, is that there's no such thing as airports, there's no such thing as towns, there's no such thing as like cities. Well, granted, I will admit, there is no such thing as like big cities, you know, like you see in the United States. In fact, there is actually little towns. It's not just like you go out and ooga booga hunt for your food. However, deep in the jungle, yes, that does exist. But there are like wooden houses, there are wooden, you know, shacks, there are like these indigenous people's houses 100%. Like, look at my house, it's a bamboo hut, you know, and which I love, by the way. But yeah, there is such thing as like grocery stores. Granted, there's no Walmart, there's no KFC, there's no, you know, McDonald's, but there are things that you guys would consider more modern. People fall for AI down here like nuts. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever talked about this before, but people fall for AI down here like it's no one's business, dude. That's why I told Maria, I'm like, Maria, if I'm ever calling you and I'm asking you for money, it sounds like my voice, it's probably not me. Like 99% of the times it's not me, so don't fall for that. And what surprises me the most is you're going out into your backyard, you see sloths, you see parrots, you see, you know, you have monkeys howling in the background. That's the coolest part ever, right? That's why whenever I visit my friend in Morona, that seeing that was like, whoa, dude, it's a whole nother life, it's a whole nother existence. And that's why they call the Amazon the lungs of the earth. It is finally done here. Let me see if this is gonna burn my hand off or not. 3, 2,
Ay, qué rico.
Uno. Oh, yes. Dude, this is so good. With all these reasons, would you visit the Amazon? You let's subscribe.
Subscribe.
Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. I love you guys so much.
I love you so much.
Yep.
Subscribe. Yeah.